And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August. I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
To mention his wife's name, Jada couldn't believe what she was hearing.
What is going on? Now, first of all, I'm really shocked because, mind you, I'm not there. We haven't called each other husband and wife in a long time. Going on right now.
Keep my wife's name
out of your mouth.
What viewers did not see at the time, while Oscar clips were being shown, was Chris Rock leaning over the stage to talk to Jada.
And he's still, because now he's mad because Chris is talking to me. And I go, Chris, this is about some old
So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
Yo, Will, are you okay? If you need help, blink 3 times. Give me a smoke signal, give me something. Man, like, Jesus Christ, this is crazy. I mean, man, this is just insane. So, sorry guys, I've been working, grinding. I got a big announcement coming soon with something I'm working on, and I definitely want to use this YouTube channel to kind of get the message of what I got going on and what I'm working on. So that's coming soon. But anyway, I'm here to talk about what the internet has been going crazy about, which is this Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. What the hell is going on? Man, this is hard to watch. So apparently Jada Pinkett Smith, she's coming out with a memoir, which is, I guess kind of like telling her story, telling, the inner workings of just her life, how, she couldn't stand Will Smith, how Will Smith was a sucker, how Will Smith is less of a man, he might have a vagina in between his legs, how she loves Tupac, Tupac is the man, she wished Tupac had all of her kids with her, how she wrote All Eyes on Me, just everything about Tupac, even how she sold crack. Little skinny Jada Pinkett sold crack at 15 years old. Insane. Like, for me, like, the reason why this hurts, this is personal for me. This is personal because I grew up a fan of Will Smith, like, literally. Not just the Fresh Prince stuff. So I'm an 80s baby, but I have siblings that were, like, way older than me. My older brothers and sister, they would play Summertime. They would play all Will Smith's hits. And so hopefully I can find a picture. I won't tag it on here. I had the afro as a kid. I had the box. Was a fan of Will Smith before the Fresh Prince. Then when Fresh Prince came on, I was like, oh man, this dude's an actor. Then when Independence Day came out and all these cool movies, I said, oh, this guy is the man. And it hurts my heart I thought Will Smith was the coolest guy walking on 2 legs. My last name is Smith too. J. Smitty Conversations. You cannot do this to the Smith name, Will Smith. It seemed like it's been a pattern for a while where it seems like Jada Pinkett Smith is on a mission to ruin his legacy and ruin his name. As far as with the entanglement, sleeping with her sons, mental health, mental ill, best friend, is crazy. And I don't want to say his best friend, but sleeping with her son's friend is nuts. As far as just talking about how the sex was bad, as far as making him go on the red table talk to talk about the entanglement, always talking about Tupac. I think it was like close to Will Smith's birthday, and she posted a video of Tupac and her dancing. This is just insane. A lot of people think she's delusional with the type of relationship her and Tupac had. People are actually sick of her talking about Tupac. I just kind of want to know what you guys think. I want to give my perspective. What does Jada have on Will Smith? I'm probably one of the most non-judgmental people on earth. Even if I disagree, I try to separate myself and say, oh, that's for them. I disagree, but good for them. That's the type of person I am. Like, if I was like Will Smith's friend, we could be related, my last name is Smith, but if I was his friend, if I was his relative, I would ask him like, brother, you are Will Smith. You can do better than Jada. It's not like Jada is like I think she's a beautiful woman, but like, she's not like that. She's not worth this, man. I think Will Smith can do 1,000 times better. What does Jada have on Will Smith to kind of keep him kind of locked in this situation where he keeps his mouth shut while she says all these things? Even with the whole slapping situation, which I disagree with how he slapped Chris Rock. I'm with him. I'm all for protecting your wife, but I disagree with him going up there and smacking that man and embarrassing that man like that. I am. That being said, That being said, Jada even denounced that. She said, I don't know what this man was doing. I was actually shocked that he called me his wife. In fact, we ain't been together in about 6 or 7 years. He threw away his reputation for you, and you couldn't stand by him. You couldn't rock with him. You didn't hold no accountability for that. And even if like, it's cool to disagree, but like, I know like if my spouse did something I disagreed with, I'm disagreeing with her behind the scenes, but in public, I'm with her 10 toes down. So I think it's a lot of lessons, and I want to talk about a couple. One is this: Will Smith. You have to be a man, brother. You have to be a man. There comes a point where enough is enough. Like I heard a rumor, don't know if this is true or not, again, for all I know, man, you could be enjoying this situation. But I heard a rumor that, there's no prenup involved. I know you're worth about 300 million. I don't know how much Jada's worth. She could be worth maybe 20, I'm assuming 25, 30. But Will, at this point, man, you gotta get the big boy lawyers out, and it may be worth cutting some of those losses to let her go. She's rich. She has her own funds. She has some assets. She just wrote a book. This book is gonna go #1. I encourage you, Will. Just real talk. It might be okay to let this one go, man. You'll make that back. Because what this is doing to your career, man, is detrimental. Where, again, guys like me who thought you was the coolest guy on earth, it hurts my heart to see you going out like this, man. Well, I saw you take down aliens on Independence Day. I saw you take down an army of robots on iRobot. I saw you taking down drug kingpins in Bad Boy. And now you're getting taken down? You're getting taken down by Jada, who probably weighs 106 pounds? Come on, Will. Come on, Will. So, fellas, you have to do your best to not allow yourself to get emasculated by a woman. It's very, very important. Once your woman does not respect you, it's hard to get it back. I don't know if anybody ever been there before. I know, I'll be honest, I've been there before, where, you want a girl to like you, and no matter how much you try, she just doesn't appreciate you for whatever reason. It could be because maybe she has insecurities and she doesn't want to show you that appreciation. Or it could be maybe she doesn't see your value. At that point, you have to say, you know what? If you don't see my value, that's fine. I know my worth. Somebody else will. No pun intended. But at some point, somebody else will see the value within you. It's not worth sacrificing your soul and sacrificing your well-being and your manhood in order to be with somebody who doesn't appreciate you, man. And that's the worst thing ever. And it could be validation. I read a little bit of Will Smith's book. Well, I didn't read it. It was the audio. But Will had a really good book, and he talked about like kind of his family dynamic, especially like when it came to his father. Just how his father was abusive and, maybe lacking some of that validation when it came to his dad. And so a lot of people sometimes get in these unhealthy relationships and they're chasing validation. And it doesn't matter how many fans love Will Smith. It doesn't matter how many women love Will Smith. It doesn't matter how much money he has. If the person you love is not recognizing you as the man and the king of the household, and you're not getting that validation, it hurts. It can hurt, and I feel for him. I've been there before. I didn't stay there, but I've been there before. I'm sure a lot of men have been there before, where sometimes there are women, for whatever reason, that just doesn't appreciate you, and then you just move on to the next that appreciates you. And sometimes some women will see like, damn, man, like I took him for granted, but it's too late. But Will, you have to move on, brother. I think enough is enough. I think you deserve better. And what I think, even though, from what I'm hearing, you don't have a prenup, you may lose some funds. I'm hoping that's not the case, but you may lose some funds. Trust me when I say this, Will. If you was to divorce her and it made the news, man, the next movie you make, I don't care if it's emancipation, I don't care if it's constipation, the next movie you make will be #1 on box office. Trust me, people are rooting for you. And it's crazy because usually on social media, you got men on one side, women on this side. Everybody, men and women, are backing you, Will Smith. I'm pulling for you. I'm praying for you, brother. And I'm hoping that you acknowledge your worth and find somebody, man. Find somebody that can respect who you are as a person and that can respect you as a man in the household. Next, bitterness and resentment. Just hearing some of and I haven't read the book yet. I haven't read some of Jada's book. I am interested. I'm gonna check it out. But just from some of the things I've read, she did have some self-esteem, some suicidal thoughts, and it sounds like she had some depression.
It's funny because when you're in those states, you're not clear. It's not like it's going to make rational sense, right? You want out of the pain, and you cannot imagine your only way out is death. You think in your mind you've tried everything, and you're like, that's all I got. I can't.
She said something somewhere, and I'm paraphrasing, that she was thinking about committing suicide, finding the perfect places to commit suicide, and that no matter what she did, she couldn't get out of a dark place. There's a deep self-hatred for yourself. So when you have depression or when you have low self-esteem and low self-worth, it is hard to see the worth in others when you can't see the worth in yourself. And this is just me speculating, when you have a significant other who is the most famous person on earth, there's a couple things that happens. One, I call this the Aisha Curry effect. You have some women that feel overshadowed by a man's success. They feel uncomfortable playing the background, and they want to also have their own spotlight. Steph Curry is the man, right? He is the dude. He's that guy when it comes to basketball. He is the golden child of the NBA. Huge fan. Aisha Curry, she seemed like a wonderful person. On several occasions, she stated how she didn't like playing the background. She didn't like how she wasn't getting attention from men. And she even said a tasteless joke as far as when she was on, I don't know if it was The View, one of those shows where the guy had his shirt off. She acted like she was taking off her wedding ring. Oh, I forgot about that. She had the cooking show too, right? Just partners in general, men too. Like there's men too that don't like playing the background as well. But some people just don't like being second fiddle when their mates are way more successful. I think Jada kind of suffers from that. And then you have some significant others, like LeBron James. Like, shout out to my Ohio brethren, right? If y'all don't know, I'm from Ohio. Shout out to my Ohio. I'm from LA, but raised in Ohio. LeBron, you did it right, sir. He has a woman who she's beautiful, she's natural, she's organic, and she could really be a star if she really wanted to. Like, you talking about these TV shows, Basketball Wives, Housewives, whatever wife she want to be, she could be the #1 star. She said, nah, I'd rather play the scenes, rather take care of these kids, and rather have LeBron James just be all about me. And she's special because she's natural, she's organic, she seems like a homegirl, and she's the first one he started with, which is super dope to me. Some women don't mind being a part of the journey and riding along the journey that is success with their man. It could be a thing where Jada Pinkett is jealous, of the success, and she already has self-hatred when it comes to herself. It could be a thing where, she always wanted Tupac, and Tupac maybe didn't give her the time of day. We all know Tupac was dibbling and dabbling and women and doing his thing, and Tupac didn't really make it public. He made it public they were friends. He didn't really make it public that, they were a thing, like the way Jada tries to make it seem. We don't have no other factual information about Tupac being about Jada other than Jada just saying it, right? It's hard to please someone who's not pleased with themselves. And I think that was one of the problems where women learn from this. Find you a guy. If you don't respect a guy, let him go. Because all you're gonna do is emasculate that man, and at some point, either the man's gonna end up going nuts, going crazy, he's gonna end up leaving, or you're just gonna be in a situation where you're bitter. The next thing, guys, don't compare yourself to anybody else's relationships anymore. I like some of these celebrity relationships. I like some of these relationships I see on TV, but I tell my wife gets caught up in this when she's like, ooh, look at LeBron James, and look at Aisha Curry, ooh, I'm like, yo, stop comparing yourself. The big one is Russell and Sierra. Oh, I need that prayer. You don't know what the relationship is like, talking about you need the Sierra prayer. Have you seen how Russell Wilson has been playing football this season? You don't know what the inner workings is of their relationship. So why do you want to see a prayer? If anything, you should just want a prayer and pray that God gives you what is belonging to you. What I encourage people is love yours. Stop comparing yourself to these celebrity relationships. You don't know what these people are going through. You don't know what is the inner telling details of these people's relationships. And I think marriage today is a mockery. Marriage today is a mockery. I believe in marriage, I do. I'm a really spiritual guy, and a lot of this stuff makes sense. It does, man. It makes sense. It makes so much sense. I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, but even with being careful about marrying someone and even having kids out of wedlock, just being able to get to know a person, enjoy a person, get to know who they are as an individual, and just I've had the luxury outside of my parents. My parents are divorced, but I had the luxury of being around some healthy relationships. And people who do it the right way, which they have God as the foundation, tend to have successful marriages. And I talked about this before in the video. But people are now marrying for status and money instead of intangibles, instead of personality, and instead of what God is leading them to do. Marriages that I see where it's God-led tend to be successful. You know, you got Married at First Sight, you know, you got 90 Day Fiance, Love is Blind, all these different shows. People are afraid. I talk to these youngsters, and people are afraid to get married due to some of the things that's on TV. You know, my parents divorced, and I see how it did me and my family members. But then, like, I also been fortunate enough to see marriages work, and people are not letting God lead their marriages. They're not. Like, a marriage is the foundation, and it's something that can really help someone build something that's special and beautiful, somebody that can motivate you to be a better person and to be God-led, where you're making all your choices and decisions through God. It'll be like a tree where fruit will blossom from it. You get what I'm saying? And so, like, if you've been fortunate enough to see marriages that, and I'm not saying marriages are perfect, people make mistakes. So my issue is not that, you know, Will Smith and Jada are not perfect. My issue is that they're making a mockery out of it. They yell together, bad marriages for life.
We ride together,
we die together.
Bad marriage for life.
That is insane to me. That is crazy to me. So seeing this, Will Smith, you gotta hold some accountability. You gotta hold some L's too. I encourage people, don't give up on marriage. Just be led by God, allow God to be in your marriage, and, you know, always talk. I was told once that marriage is like a school or like a college that you never graduate, because people are constantly growing and people are constantly changing. But it's a beautiful thing when you find that right person. So I know, like, for me, I was trying to do things my way. And once I got married and submitted to the idea of what God wanted, like, just blessings and fruit and all that stuff just started to blossom. People in my life who work at their marriage, and again, marriage it doesn't mean you're perfect. It just means that you're committed. And that's the issue I have with Will Smith and Jada, is that they're saying, like, yo, we're just gonna stay married no matter what. And it's a bad example, especially for black people, man. Like, it's just to me a horrible example.